Welcome to Slack Tool Company. I'm Robert Slack and I'd like to introduce to you e-zarch laminating clamps, a newly patented curved lamination clamping system that will make your custom curved laminating jobs faster and easier than ever before. Invest in e-zarch laminating clamps, not forms and templates that you may not ever use again. Our foot clamps are fastened down to a wooden work surface to form the shape of the lamination. The length of your lamination is limited only by the size of your work surface and the number of clamps you have. The span clamps clamp onto the lamination for additional clamping pressure. Laminating bands support the lamination and smooth out the curves for a nice uniform product. We stock bands 2, 6, 9, and 12 inches wide in 8, 10, 12, and 16 foot lengths. Special order lengths are available. We offer 3 standard clamp opening sizes, 3 3/4 by 9 inch, 5 3/4 by 9 inch, and 5 3/4 by 12 inch. If necessary, our clamps can be modified to suit your special laminating requirements. Call us for a quote. Our clamps are shipped in heavy-duty plywood stackable storage crates. e-zarch laminating clamps feature solid PVC clamp faces, specially hardened clamp bolts, quick-release clamp bars that make lamination removal and reloading a snap, and washered clamp nuts that are tightened and loosened using our socket extension. The new Makita 6940 DWA 2000 RPM, variable speed, 9.6 volt, cordless right angle impact driver makes the clamps operation single-handed and quick. Thank you for your interest in e-zarch laminating clamps.
e-zarch laminating clamps work well with dozens of laminating applications. We would like to demonstrate how our clamps are used to make this elliptical shape jam header for a stained grade red oak cased opening and the laminated curved molding blanks that go with it. We built a low-cost, high-production heated lamination booth with a rotating 2-sided 4x8 table, but any flat wooden work surface will do. The length of your lamination is limited only to the area of your work surface and the number of e-zarch laminating clamps you have. The layout is done using an elliptical compass. This jam header is 48 inches wide and 12 inches high. Measure and mark the layout for the location of the foot clamps. The foot clamps form the shape of the lamination. You will need to place them closer together at smaller radiuses in the lamination. At larger radiuses, the foot clamps can be spaced further apart. Fasten the foot clamps on the face side of the lamination line using the PVC clamp faces in the foot of the clamps as a guide. For the jam header, we'll laminate 2 1/8 inch red oak veneers with 2 layers of 5/16 inch bending plywood. Resaw the red oak veneers on a bandsaw, then surface them to 1/8 inch on the planer. Place a 6-inch laminating band against the faces of the foot clamps with its center at the center clamp. Then place the glued lamination in the foot clamps and another 6-inch laminating band on the back side of the lamination. Put the clamp bars on the foot clamps working from center toward both ends. Adjust the lamination as necessary. Place the span clamps on the lamination. Then tighten the clamp nuts. Tighten the bottom nut first, then the upper nut on each clamp. Start at the center of the lamination and work toward both ends. We'll give the glue a few hours to set before we remove the lamination from the clamps. To remove the lamination, place the ratchet strap around the ends of the inside laminating band to control it as we remove the lamination. Loosen the clamp nuts and remove all the clamp bars and span clamps. Remove the outside laminating band, then the lamination. Here's our jam header lamination ready to trim. Trim the jam header lamination with the extended edge against the fence of the table saw. Then rip the extended edge off to finish width. We are now ready to make our laminated curved molding blank. For the elliptical molding blanks, we'll rip the veneer strips out of solid 6/4 red oak lumber on the table saw. We use a speed square to mark the lumber so we can keep the rips in order when we glue them back together. On this lamination with tight radiuses at both ends, we'll rip 22 veneer strips for our 3 1/2 inch profile width. Rather than moving the foot clamps out for the jam trim margin, we will move the curved molding lamination out with a margin spacer. Center the margin spacer in a 2-inch laminating band on the foot clamps. Place the glued lamination and the outside 2-inch laminating band on the foot clamps. Starting at the center and working toward both ends, put as many clamp bars on the foot clamps as possible without using the winch. Tighten the clamp nuts on the center foot clamp to hold the lamination centered in the clamps. Place the span clamps on the lamination. Adjust the lamination and place hold-down blocks in the foot clamps at both sides of the center foot clamp. Connect the winch straps to the lamination near both ends of the veneer strips. Winch the lamination up to the faces of the foot clamps and put on the remaining clamp bars. Adjust the lamination as necessary and place the hold-down blocks in the foot clamps at both ends of the lamination. Tighten the clamp nuts, bottom ones first, starting at the center and working toward both ends. Bar clamps will fit over the lamination for additional clamping pressure where it's needed. None were necessary on this lamination. After the glue has dried, loosen the clamp nuts and remove all the clamp bars and span clamps. Remove the outside laminating band, then the lamination. Next, we'll run the lamination through the planer to clean up both sides and surface it to 1 1/8 inch thickness. Now we are ready to run the casing profile on the lamination. In closing, we hope that you have learned something from this video that will make your laminating jobs faster and easier in the future. We don't know all there is to know about curved laminations, but what we do know or learn in the future is available to you. Please feel free to call us with any questions or tips you would like to share. Slack Tool Company wishes you the best with e-zarch laminating clamps.